Turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Alliances turn.
Elder Titan.
Faceless Void.
Alliances turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Bat Rider!
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're coming into this draft a little bit late here, but sure enough, it is the International 6 European Qualifiers. We are in playoff action now. It's the winner bracket final as we get to witness Alliance versus Team Finem. I'm Kyle Guy. I'm going to be joined by the one and only Fog for this one. And again, apologies, we were running into a little bit of a XSplit issue to kind of get the channel live, but we're here now. We didn't miss too much of the action. Fogged?
Yeah, Rob was a little bit busy just, talking to Twitch chat on the stream.
He was just
extremely unprofessional.
soaking in all of the E-fame he was getting and how everyone wanted to apparently
Kissing
kiss
a bunch
him.
of dudes.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's
it's
about,
actually
but
ridiculous.
it doesn't matter anymore. We are live, fingers crossed, and we have some awesome Dota ready to go. So, with that said, let's see what's before us here. Alliance going to be opening this one up with the first pick Wisp. They get to follow it up with the Bat Rider. For the Greeks, they managed to creep in that first pick Elder Titan and followed up swiftly with the Faceless Void. Nothing seems to be too out of the ordinary for now.
Only thing that's out of the ordinary for me, other than the picks are perfectly fine and normal. The bans look maybe a little bit strange just because they're according to teams. As we've been saying, these teams are not really banning just what's in the meta. They're actually banning just teams specifically.
Respect.
But Alliance is first pick on Dire. So I'm gonna go back and check and actually see.
Finem pick Radiant is what you're implying, possibly?
It seems like Finem may have picked Radiant.
Well, have they not heard from the mighty Nahaz and the rest of the world that Dire has the significant advantage? Uh-oh, we got Rob with the face here. What's happening here, Rob? We have to restart this because we don't have delay? Is that what you're saying?
Alliances turn to ban.
Oh, of course. All right, if you're hearing this now, we're going to be taking the stream down, and you're not going to see us for about 5 minutes because of the hectic issue of getting the stream live. We were not able to put in the delay. So we'll see you in 5 minutes. Very sorry. For people in the Dota client, you won't hear us for 5 minutes, so we'll see you soon.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Oracle.
Alliances turn to pick.
Witch Doctor.
Radiant team pick.
All right, everybody. Hopefully, again, fingers crossed, we are back and live. I'm sorry about the downtime. You probably witnessed about 5 minutes of downtime. That was, again, because we had some issues with XSplit. It wasn't able to kind of connect properly to the stream. We had to re-add the stream. And then, of course, we forgot to put in the delay. Everyone has to have 5 minutes delay. So we had to take the stream down. And now we have 5 minutes of wait. But don't worry, you didn't miss too much. It looks like now as we begin to dive into the second phase here, a Witch Doctor has been snagged up by Alliance, and Finem snagging up the Oracle here, Fogged, obviously as a way to kind of counteract the Bat Rider lasso lockdown. But picking the Oracle over something like a Vengeful Spirit. And I wonder if there's anything else that the Oracle brings to the table over the Vengeful, or maybe just the Greeks feel more comfortable with the hero?
It's probably just like comfort, and it's the hero gives you burst to help deal with Wisp as well. It also isn't just the false promise, which is extremely good versus Bat Rider. It's also, you know, Fate's Edict, of course, if he's running on you with Firefly or with Sticky, like, and everything. If you're being like chased down and caught up, you can always Fate's Edict them in 3 seconds where you don't take damage from that. Alliance's bans, though, really interesting. The Disruptor ban, pretty much a ban just because they have the Wisp, so they don't want to, you know, if you relocate, the obvious one is
of
you
course.
either glimpse back the person the Wisp brings, or you drop an ulti on top of where the Wisp is coming. And then the Slark ban, that's more specific toward Finem, obviously. Madara Slark, pretty terrifying.
Oh,
He's
for
one
sure.
of the only ones who's actually been winning on the hero, I'm pretty sure. Like,
He is
like 20%
the
win
Slark
rate.
player for sure.
Yeah, it's like 20% win rate, and he's like the only one who's been winning every single
I'm
time.
surprised more teams aren't giving him this kind of nod of respect, and it's allowed this kind of a team to be able to flourish and be able to create themselves into this position where they're just one step away from securing a trip to Seattle. This is a huge match for both these teams. You're looking at Alliance on one side. You know, Fog, this is a team that they felt that they deserved the direct invite, and they barely made it in to the playoff scene. They got lucky with a couple of shortcomings, I believe, like Virtus Pro, unfortunately, dropping that game against Flipside, allowed Alliance to kind of creep in, and now they're also about to make it, so this is huge, and this could be a lot of pressure. And now a Weaver popping out for Finem, so...
Yeah, Alliance should feel very happy to be in this position. But they have to adapt because I feel like Finem is actually the stronger team currently, and I feel like they're just playing better, in my opinion, than Alliance has been. And they're more... What's the word I'm looking for? They're more like... open, I guess, like more open to change. Alliance is very, like, we've seen this Alliance, we've seen the same Alliance for quite a long time. Of course, not exactly
versatile,
the same,
maybe?
but
Is that a word?
yeah, I mean, it's versatile, but also I guess, yeah, versatile can work for, because they change up their picks, they always change up the way they lane and everything. Alliance is very just, like, very straightforward.
So,
sometimes they aggro and stuff, but...
The most outside the box I've seen Alliance was yesterday in their games. They were playing against Escape, you know, formerly No Diggity, and against the Terrorblade, they found themselves picking up the Elder Titan, and that's an obvious counter, and for most teams it's a no-brainer, but for Alliance they never played the hero, and that was their second time playing the hero competitively for EGM. They unfortunately got the loss, but the point is we don't often see Alliance really go too far outside their comfort zone here, and based on this draft, this is something that we've been seeing them play throughout the history of time. I always welcome back a Tiny Wisp. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while.
No,
I like that.
It's really, really fun. Tiny also very good versus like Elder Titan Void and Weaver in general, like, because you can burst them down obviously with your combo. He's not able to get Time Walk off if you kill him. The Weaver pick though, go back to that, really interesting pick for Finem because the 3 picks from Alliance have like no lockdown for him, really, and he can just split push freely. He doesn't have to worry about getting caught out. It's only the lasso that he had to worry about. Now they actually have the Tiny to burst him down, and then taking a look at those bans. Alliance banning out Thugs Invoker, which he had some good success as Quaswex yesterday, and at Finem, of course, you know, banning out Timbersaw because screw that hero.
Now for a lot of teams, they typically run the Wisp Tiny to a mid lane situation, but for Alliance, don't they typically do it a bit different? They will usually, it's not S4 playing the Tiny, right? He's not typically the Tiny laner. Usually Loader will take it, and they might consider running it in like a safe lane setup.
S4 has played it.
He has played it? Okay.
Before, yeah. He's gone for like that Blink 4-step build for sometimes, but we've seen him go like Blink Aghanims or Blink Echo Saber, since that seems to be the new fad. But this could still, they're leaving their options open.
Yeah.
This could still even be a Bulldog Bat Rider, and we could see a complete change up in what they are deciding.
That is a bonus for them. They have the last pick, so they can see what's going to be happening before them and know if they need to prepare a mid laner for the possible, 2v1 of the Tiny Wisp, potentially, or as you mentioned, there could be an audible change, which it does look like here with the, you know what? You really never know. I mean,
still don't know what.
Still don't know. Yeah, I mean, S4 could still take this Bat Rider and then give Bulldog the Bristle. They can give Loda the Bristle and give Tiny to S4 and then give Bulldog the Bat Rider. You really don't know what's going to be happening before you. And I wonder if Finem are kind of almost regretting banning out the Timbersaw at this point. I feel like Timbersaw would have been awesome against Alliance's lineup here, but nonetheless, they're going to have to find what other great options are here for them, because this is a rugged and tough bruiser lineup coming out from Alliance here. And more high tempo. And Alchemist is actually going to be the choice here from Finem. So, ooh, the Thug Alchemist.
All right, interesting. So Wisp and Tiny heroes, two heroes that have very little armor, so Acid Spray can be very obnoxious in the lane for them, but at the same time Alchemist needs to watch his positioning if he is versus that dual lane. He should be just fine to farm, and it is, yep, Bulldog Batrider, and it is going to be the S4 Tiny like we were saying.
It's a shame they're not privy to like the disgusting Viper. I feel like Viper also could have definitely done a number on the Tiny and Bristle play here, but they're going to go their own road, their own little greedy road here to see if they can bulk up this.
They want to scale super hard.
Alchemist and scale.
It's also an excellent combo with the Oracle. It's just a natural combo.
Oh, you're right.
Chemical Rage. So if you do get False Promised with Alchemist ult, you're pretty much going to live whatever happens to you because of that double healing bonus. And
yeah. Actually, Oracle's very good at being able to bail out a lot here. That False Promise could, allow Weaver the opportunity to get a time lapse off and be able to stay alive. It could obviously help a lot with the Faceless Void and being able to get a time walk to kind of stay alive and well. So this is going to be a bit of a barn burner here, and always a pause. And you know what? He's right. I feel like every game I cast, we got to start with a brief intermission here. But hey, that means we can go over the predictions, Fog. So
yeah,
team with the first barracks kill. Okay, we're going a bit to the late game here. I mean, Alliance have that sieging lineup. I can't help but feel like it would be them.
It really depends on the laning phase. Like this game is, the drafts are very. I mean, I don't want to say like completely even, but it's like a good matchup. Either way, I'm personally like at Finem currently because they have a massive amount of team fight. They just need to ramp up and they need to survive through the laning phase. But if they do make it out, their lineup fights so well into alliances. They have the Wombo combo from the Void with the Elder Titan if he finds his levels. They have the Acid Spray on top. Lots of minus armor. Acid Spray plus Swarm from the Weaver. If they're able to single out the Wisp, he's just going to die constantly. So it really depends on laning phase like I was saying, but both drafts have their strengths.
I'm just going to quickly fly through some of these other predictions and make some bold called here. So I'm going to say longest kill streak potentially going to be for Madara on his Weaver. Player with the least deaths. Ooh, that's a tougher. I'm
going to go Madara anyway.
You're going to go Madara, yeah. The Weaver is going to be pretty damn elusive, and having pretty much that second life is going to make him pretty tough to crack here. Yeah. We'll get underway with the early ward game. A very deep ward commitment up here by Finem to be able to scope the jungle front up there at the top lane. And they even get a nice little deep lane ward here at the bottom, just in front of this tower. So they're going to get a lot of sweet intel to see any sort of possible lane rotations and see if they need to make any sort of audible calls. We saw yesterday Alliance not afraid to pull out even some more like aggro laning setups. So maybe Finem will make sure that they kind of have a head start if they need to make any sort of lane changes.
Yeah. It's definitely possible. It definitely looks even like Alliance is going to be going for that aggro tri-lane.
Oh, and it looks like we're going to be having a clash right at the level 1 rune down here at the bottom. A deep dive Elder Titan forces Alliance back, and that means that Bulldog's going to be able to get the bounty at the top, and it will allow Thug to snag up that precious and delicious greedy gold bounty rune here for the mid laner.
They are going aggro. This seems to be like the response into the Elder Titan lately. Every time people have been picking Elder Titan and doing, well, not every time, but since yesterday we've been seeing Elder Titan gets picked up and the opposite team goes aggro tri-lane into it since it's a weak tri-lane support.
And you see here Ake coming up a bit short with the D-ward in the lane, so...
And we do see the lane swap instantly response from Finem. They put the Void safe lane, and they switched up, and the Weaver's running all the way top.
It's like the long walk of shame, unfortunately, before you can make it to that first precious bit of CS, and you can see Alliance trying to really capitalize on this solo Skylark now in the bottom lane. So it's a bit of an awkward start here for the Greeks, but they will be happy to make the quick adjustment.
Yeah, the scary thing for Finem is that they can lack a lot of damage in this lineup. If they don't come off to a good start, and Bristleback does have a very good start, then just look at their draft. Who is their damage dealer? Like the Void? No.
Nope.
Weaver? Not really. He needs to gain a bit of a start. Alchemist? Not really. Elder Titan needs levels. They all need to get their start going in order to be able to actually deal with the tankiness of Alliance's course.
A very fragile laning phase here for Finem. Is going to force them to kind of walk on eggshells to make sure they don't allow Alliance to have too much of an early advantage.
Thug needs to watch out. Yeah, they're pinging him. There's the Witch Doctor sitting on the side. It's the tri-lane potential to go on him, but lane gets pushed in, of course, from the Acid Spray.
And Thug will play pretty far back here and just block out the camp and try to avoid any sort of incoming trouble. It's Ake who's hanging out nearby to kind of scope him out and see if they can set something up in the mid lane. Easy set of bursts from the Tiny with the assistance of the Wisp could lead to an easy first blood. Top lane, making it go for the Bulldog. Fortune's End flies out. That means the stop is going to connect. Man's put to bed, but man, Spartan's like, I'm at 6 stacks, I'm burned to a crisp. He goes down, it's gonna be Bulldog who picks up the first blood instead. Ooh, a bit too much of that sticky icky, and that leads to an unfortunate demise for the Elder Titan.
It was actually interesting. The Firefly wasn't like right on top of him because he was like,
yeah,
and it was still it burned him anyway. Instantly, it started burning him while he started the stomp. So that actually got him killed. I thought that they were gonna be able to get the kill because he looked a little bit like distant from the Firefly, but it ticks on him, and he already had 5 sticky napalm stacks, so he has to just watch out to not get stuck up so much. But it was very weird how that
deceptive graphic,
deceptive
AOE,
graphic,
yeah.
sure.
You know, there's a lot of spells like that. Like maybe Quap ulti and stuff, where you think you're kind of outside the cone of the graphic, but it somehow still clips you. And that is, unfortunately, oh man. Load is ripe today, I've noticed.
Yeah, they are very impatient, it seems like. Instantly getting angry, or it seems like, but...
They're ready to go. And it looks like we'll be able to get back underway here, and for the sake of Alliance, they are game ready. Ake is still parked in this mid lane, just waiting for an opening. They're like, surely this Alchemist will wait. It will think eventually there'll be no one there. And sure enough, he moves far forward enough. He might have to go up north to avoid the trouble, but he's not going to be able to make it away. There's going to be the early lead-in of the Avalanche. Coconut goes out, a rotation in from the Oracle. He will Fate's Edict Thug, so he takes no further magic damage, and it looks like he will avoid the trouble. Alliance will force the rotation out from the Oracle, but will come up short on the mid lane gank.
Yeah, I find it kind of funny that oh, he gets to stop on Bulldog.
Bulldog had been getting away with a lot so far this game. Oh no, not again. Spartan, he's turning back, and it looks like Bulldog is not going to tempt fate there, but will continue to be a bit of a nuisance. You cannot allow Bulldog to get so much in this lane too.
I was gonna mention how it's funny. We watched Escape Gaming, who did this.
Oh my god, he got it with the stomp. Can he get it a couple of right clicks in with that sticky though? It's gonna be the slow.
Got Tango.
That's of course the, you know, what the taunts naturally go out if you manage to get away with a certain amount of HP. That's not bad manner. That's like, just, you know,
sub 10 or sub 15% HP. If you get away like that, it automatically forces you to do a taunt.
I actually didn't know Batrider had a taunt. He apparently flips upside down and does a barrel roll. That's hilarious. Cute. And Bulldog will be able to make it away, and for the sake of Finem, they're going to be happy to force the Batrider out from the lane and kind of step away from that early advantage he was getting.
I was going to mention how it's funny that Alliance is doing the aggro tri-lane into the Elder Titan, and you know which other team did that yesterday and started that kind of like trend? Well, not maybe the entire trend, but No Diggity, Escape Gaming. So, Sidrin, of course, the coach for Alliance. That's pretty ironic. S4, going on mid. Thug gets
whoa! That was a long ball toss all the way back under the tower and right towards Ake, who sets the whole thing up. Thug's like, you know what? Maybe I can get a creep kill in, but Ake walks away and Thug goes down. Wonderful setup right there. A long ball pass, and it's going to allow Alliance now open this game 2-0. That was fun.
And the supports are moving a lot on the side of Alliance and leaving the Bristleback 1v1 versus the Void, so Skylark is able to find a decent amount of CS down there.
We are seeing the king of the CS right now belong to Madar here on this Weaver in the top lane. You know, credit to the supports kind of getting up in the face of Bulldog and not allowing him to be too much of a problem here for the Weaver, but as you mentioned before, Weaver does require quite a bit of a build-up rather, before he can really be that big damage dealer, so it is going to take a lot of nourishment for this core to really be a bit of a game changer here. And Thug should pretty much not die anymore. One death is inevitable to happen in that lane, just a bit of a mispositioning. But now he's got his Soul Ring up, he's got his raindrops as well, and very close to 6, so he's able to just resort to the jungle, throw the acid spray in the mid lane, just push the lane constantly onto Alliance, and he should just be in a very favorable position for himself. Yeah, I don't know if he made the stack himself, but he at least has the one stack nearby, but without him having any sort of babysitter or assistance, he will need to find a place to kind of fall back and build up his economy a bit. Back and below here, Loda a bit low, but it looks like EGM shows up just in time, and suddenly Loda has full life and full mana, so that's the wonderful world of a Wisp. Meanwhile, up and above, Bulldog could be up in arms here. It's a 1v3. He's able to get 2 stacks here onto Madara, who swiftly Sakuchi's out from trouble. Bulldog is determined to get the most out of this nearby neutral camp, though. Shockwave flies, it connects on the dog, and now he's going to be forced to rotate down below. And how convenient. It's 6 minutes, and it's a bounty rune that he'll be able to snag up. Would have been the dream if it was a regen, let's say, but he gets the free rune nonetheless, and will shift his business elsewhere.
He got a good amount of that stack too.
Yeah.
So he gained a lot of value there.
He's
Tranquil
doing
Boots, he's got his Windlace and 900 gold, so he's doing great.
Okay, and on the
Bottom
other
lane.
side of the world, yeah, we see Skylark here getting hit with the coconut, and he'll be able to time walk away from the trouble for now. Let's compare.
S4's on the prowl.
S4, here he comes, crawling in with his fancy little invis room, but Skylark privy to it, notices Tiny maybe missing off the map, doesn't want to risk anything, and is going to make the long walk all the way back to the base, it looks like, to heal on up. We compare his offlane performance, he's at 19-1 CS, to Bulldog at 25-1, so this Bat Rider off to a hot start. He's able to go to the jungle now, has about 1,200 gold, so Blink Dagger timing is going to be pretty nice here for him.
Let's see if they're able to get the kill on the Alchemist here.
Yeah, they're scouting him. They know they're doing this stack. S4 and Ake, hand in hand.
Thug.
They're looking to make their move, and it's a convenient timing where they can also take some of the stack for themselves. There's going to be the stun. There's the toss. There's the coconut. Falls all the way back, but Thug soaks up the damage and walks away. A double rotation comes out, and even Skylark even shows up. And now they're going to look for some return fire. They're looking to make the jump on S4. Oh, no. EGM tried to come in to assist, but now it could lead to his own demise. They go for the hunt on both Ake and EGM. EGM, a valiant TP, is going to be able to make it away, but not so good for Ake. He gets a solo chrono just for him, and Skylark will pick that one up, and this game goes even now, Fogged, 2-2.
Yep, two aggressive wards coming up from Alliance. They saw the Alchemist farming, but like we've been mentioning, raindrop, you can't overlook it. It ends up saving Thug's life, and they're able to turn around, get two kills, two pretty big kills, in my opinion.
What a wonderful item.
Yeah, it actually just straight up saved him.
And Oracle will deny himself, and it looked like did he deny himself on the enemy? Yeah, he denies on the enemy stack, so he sees this huge stack too. They know this is there. They know it's something that Loda wants to go for, and yeah, he even dropped the sentry here. So I wonder if it's something at Finem can be able to contest. And as mentioned before, they don't have a whole lot of damage to work with, so I don't know if they have enough in their arsenal to do anything about it. And it looks like Alliance are already going in for it now.
It's way too hard to contest the bristleback.
Look at this thing. That's some girth. That is some money. Loda.
It just dies way too quickly.
Yeah, okay, well, gotta be careful there. A lot of dragons. And those Ancients do offer that new aura. And here comes a friendly little spirit to scout things out. But as mentioned, there's not going to be a whole lot Adfinem can do about it. They are going to try to at least force Loda to sidestep and maybe miss out on a CS or two, but nonetheless, that is a huge boost of money going the way to the precious core of Alliance. So,
oh yeah, he just got super rich, get like 1,000 something gold. Pretty ridiculous. Now he's got his Vanguard up with his Arcane Boots. We'll probably see him go for that. I hope that he goes for the Guardian Greaves build. It's more than likely because he did pick up the Arcane Boots that he'll build into the mech right away.
yeah. He's already very, very tanky.
Yeah, and it's with the Wisp, it's obvious, you know, you get the double heal from the mech. And wow, Bulldog actually picks up a 9-minute Blink Dagger with Tranquil Boots and Windlace.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We might see it, though, as we're currently experiencing a little bit of lag. But okay, there it goes. He teleports that much closer, freezes once again, teleports once more. And nonetheless, they are going to be fight ready here. He even gets the smoke. And Alliance now going to really look to take the momentum in this early game. What do you think is going to be the prize target here? Who should they look to focus? Is it making another go for Thug's Alchemist? Should they now decide to try to keep the Weaver in check, though? He is kind of tough with the time lapse, but Lasso could make it a lot easier.
It's probably focusing more on the mid lane, or maybe even the enemy jungle, just because they could get another aggressive ward down. Theirs is going to be expiring soon.
It looks like they found Thug.
Yep.
And it's going to bring in S4, who Loda was already there to scout it out. Thug, though, looks to walk away, and Alliance a bit all over the place here. Not any sort of sole commitment onto anybody, as Madar looks to intercept, and the relocate will send the company right back out from Alliance. But Bulldog's here now. Not the ideal Blink debut he was hoping for, as he had to kind of step in and assist his team, but this is a bit chaotic feeling, as we're kind of halfway between the mid lane and the Adfinem jungle, and surprisingly, no one goes down at all, Fog. That was our first relocate of the game, and I'm not seeing any bloodshed here.
Yeah, as soon as he gets Chemical Rage off, they can't kill him. Armlet, Chemical Rage, and it's in such a weird position. If they overcommit, they can pay heavily for it into the Chronosphere. They know that the Alchemist doesn't have stun still, but that's something you have to watch out for. You know, the Void has his Chronosphere, he has the setup. Elder Titan is level 5, so level 3 stomp. You can't overcommit, and you'll just get super punished. Oracle now almost level 6 is on him as well, so he'll be able to counteract the lasso as long as he's in optimal positioning.
Yep. We'll have to be a little close.
And oh, they actually get both D wards from at Finem. They get both of the wards that Alliance had in their jungle.
I mean, that one's pretty obvious, obviously, with the relocate play and the way that Loda was kind of, you know, rummaging through the woods. That it's obvious Alliance had some sort of intel, and at Finem will quickly be able to debunk that.
Yeah, and Madara killed the courier during that last engagement as well, so a little bit of surge of economy for him and his team. And also the downtime of not having the courier. And it does look like Loda is actually going for a more of a core build this game. He's got a Sage picked up now in the courier.
Yeah, that seems pretty traditional for Loda, but yeah, in
bottom lane
time,
relocate.
Oh god damn it, I was trying to get rid of the freaking thing. Oh no, this is my bad. Okay. Bottom lane to relocate in will allow the Skylark takedown. I forgot to sign out of Steam and I was trying to take care of it real quick, so that's my bad, folks. But nonetheless, a successful relocate. The
top lane though, EGM, they go back on the relocate as soon as it comes in. EGM gonna get bursted down, but S4 does have an invis rune and he'll find a kill on Skylark.
Boom! Thanks for having my back there, bro. They were able to take down both of them, and it looks like a hot trotting start here for Alliance as they're able to quickly secure 2.
Yeah, it's okay. Missing the bottom kill was literally just a smoke downward from Alliance, and they actually placed the exact same ward again that just got dewarded.
Oh, you're right. Yep. And that will allow now the tier 1 takedown for Alliance, and they'll start to claim this area as their own. So
yeah,
do you think Alliance are kind of reaching the quota they were hoping for in that early, as we get ready to start approaching the mid game and all the level 6s are coming together? Do you think they got what they wanted out of the laning phase?
They got almost everything they wanted in the laning phase. It didn't go perfect for them, but then it went almost as well as they could have hoped for. They've got the 2 tier 1s down.
They're trying to get Ake here. Madara has to burst through a lot because EGM's making it so difficult, but he'll eventually get it. He's going to be forcing time lapse, and now he puts his sights onto the Wisp. Earth Spitter flies out, but he tethers away to that range creep and avoids the trouble, but he will still get popped by maybe next time. So excellent little nuke with the Purifying Flames will get rid of the ball of energy, and Ad Finem will just as fast take 2 their way.
At Finem, though, you can tell they're feeling a bit of the pressure. They're responding very well with their lineup every single time, but just look at their wards. 3 super defensive wards coming out from them just to slow down the pressure from Alliance. Because like we were mentioning, Ad Finem just needs to do well in this early game, and as long as it progresses, it's going to be very heavily favored for them.
They're going to have to play like that very defensive turtling style. I mean, when you're going against a Wisp who now has relocate online, when you're going against a Bat Rider who has his blink, it's expected from Alliance that they're certainly going to be going on the offensive and looking to shut down this Alk and this Weaver. So
yeah, and like we were mentioning as well, S4 goes for that blink dagger. He tends to do this on his tinies every single time. Always the first item. Some people vary away from it, but for the most part, this is the norm. My big concern for Ad Finem now is just that they're having a lot of trouble defending their towers. They only really have like Swarm and Acid Spray. They have the Elder Titan nuke and the Stomp, but that's not really that like impressive to push you off.
Yeah.
So they're losing a bunch of towers, and Skylark's actually not as farmed as they would hope for him to be after being in the safe lane.
Oh yeah, checking him out now, just pretty much power treads really to kind of brag about in the meantime. Is sporting 1,000 gold, but you're certainly right. He has to play a bit of catch up here if he wants to be any sort of game changer on the
bottom lane. Relocate on Skylark again,
and they will punish him once more.
Bulldog finding the opportunities.
Very nice.
But Skylark was also very far pushed up, and you kind of have to expect things like that. You're playing versus a Wisp, and EGM actually brings S4 back into the Stomp, into the Swarm.
Finem seems so good to be able to exactly identify where the Wisp is going to be returning, and this time they almost are going to be taking a 2-for-1 special, but it looks like S4 may be able to make it away. That little critter, though, is preventing him from being able to blink out, and now the attacks do come through. Bulldog is able to rotate in, though, and will be able to stop Madara from pursuing S4, and he makes it out to safety here. So unfortunate for EGM, but at least S4 will make it away from the trouble, and at the end of the day, it turns into a 1-for-1 split, but taking down Skylark and extra peg is very nice for Alliance.
Yep, absolutely. And getting relocate kills is always great because you boost your economy of your Bat Rider. The Wisp as well gets levels from it. You even earn charges on top. And Loda just kind of is running around, not really feeling pressure at all.
And Madara able to sneak in a sweet little support takedown on Ake in the mid lane. He's quite the assassin on this Weaver right now and is quick to retreat and cover up any sort of evidence. But meanwhile, mid lane, Loda, happy to be that bruiser. He's got a Sage and Yasha. He's pretty dang farmed. He's actually catching up nicely here with the Alchemist, but
walking into a Tiny.
He drops down a ward, but Tiny's right there. Him and Bulldog will tag team this one. He tries to kind of nullify a bit of the burst damage with the Fate's Edict, but it's not going to be doing enough. He goes down, and Alliance are on a bit of a hot streak here.
Yeah, and we did mention about the Weaver during the draft is Alliance's lineup is not really lockdown heavy, like specifically toward a Weaver, so he's able to just kind of like weave through the back lines.
Mid lane, Alliance still feeling pretty frisky, looking to move past the tier 2 onto Skylark. He turns it around, gets a Chrono onto 2, but there's no follow-up. The Alchemist, obviously not a part of this one, trying to maneuver from that top lane, but there's going to be another lasso. This one for the Weaver, and he goes down. No time lapse at all. It's not cool. It's not. It was on cooldown regardless, but a wonderful pickup for them. Nice little stomp. Ake's low, but there's no way really Finem can get in there. But this Alch is thinking about intercepting. Maybe next time he's going to be forced to fall, promise himself to stay alive, but they're going to do a lot of bursts. It might be enough to finish him off, and it will. Loda continuing to move in and dishing out those quills just means that the damage will continue to stack. And they are really just kind of being the gatekeepers for this mid lane.
Yeah, nice toss back from S4, but we're seeing the problem that we mentioned. The Finem lineup is just lacking damage at this point. They have to use their ultimates properly together. The Void cannot just blow Chrono like that. He has to talk to his Elder Titan and synergize the ultimate with that. If you don't use those ultimates properly, it's... I mean, you're just not playing to the strength of your lineup then. So they can't be using their ults in such a manner.
Alliance back from this, and I mean, Roche is up. Their Roche potential is pretty good, but it looks like it's something they'll kind of just put on the agenda and save for another day. But I imagine the tempo is not going to be slowing down from the side of Alliance. You know, at Finem, they still require quite a bit of a build-up, and I imagine Alliance are not going to look to allow them to get to that point. But for the benefit of the Greeks, Thug does have his Radiance done now, so his farm will begin to accelerate quite a bit.
Yeah, Madara almost has that Linken's too. Once he has that, he's gonna be able to just split push constantly, and he shouldn't really be too susceptible to dying until... Alright, just kidding. Bulldog already has his 4-step, so he's got the tools to actually break the Linken's before Madara even finishes it up.
It does seem like just the Coconut or the Force are really... Oh, I mean, if Goo... And they have Goo on
but that's like...
back.
That's not something... You can't just like walk up and Goo him when he's split pushing or something to catch him. It's usually gonna be like the Bat Rider and relocate to put that out.
So it could be unfortunate for Madara if he's on the bad end of the Bat Rider. And wouldn't you know it, Alliance actually get to that agenda sooner than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But what is this? It looked like a relocate. EGM. Bottom lane? Where are we at here? Up in the jungle. They move back and over. A bit of an awkward start for Alliance, but they are going to be able to make their move for Madara, but he gets the time-lapse off and makes it back and away into a false promise. And Alliance will have to shift their relocate back towards the Roche now, but it should be pretty apparent now on the side of Finem that this is happening, and it might force Alliance to just withdraw from doing it.
Bit of a waste of that false promise there because he did get the time lapse off, but this one ward from Alliance, again, they placed the same exact ward and it's doing so much work. Madara might get comboed up here.
Boom! He goes down. Very nice for Alliance. S4 now dominating, and every time they see the Greeks try to come in and intercept, that ward spots them out, and Alliance make their jump, and now can feel a bit more safe if they wanted to move in and finish out what they started in this Roche pit, but it looks like they may have second thoughts, that ward.
This ward is the MVP of the game.
And they drop the sentry, but they still don't spot it out. Now they'll be able to take care of it. Will Alliance still make something happen with it, though? It looks like they're making the jump in. Bulldog just flying up and over.
3-man stun.
Thug. Beautiful stun connection. The turnaround is going to be Skylark with a 2-man Chrono. They're going to try to burst down the Wisp. They will be able to get it. But the cores muscle forward, and they're going to be able to finish off the Oracle. Now they're looking for Thug. Alliance with numbers on their side. Look to rush down the big behemoth here. And he is just slowed and gooed, tossed up and down, and he gets shredded. Tried to get off any sort of potential suicide, but it's not going to be there. Skylark's going to be the follow-up. Madara gets back into the action, but now he's going to get hog-tied up, and this will lead to an Alliance 5-man wipe if they can get the finish, but he actually manages to get the time-lapse off, and Sakuchi's back. They see him now, and they look to go for him, but it looks like Alliance might have to settle for the 4 instead. But was that a buyback on the Weaver?
No, he respawned.
Okay.
This is a long engagement.
It was a real long fight, damn. Nonetheless, all Alliance all day it looks like here. A 4-for-2 trade. And not done yet, Loda. Still flirting around this mid lane here. Eats up the stomp, and well, he's a tanky son of a gun, so it's going to take a lot more than a casual stomp there to take him down.
Yep, Fenim's lineup just needs some more time. Need items to do the damage necessary, and they need that Linken's really badly. You keep seeing it happen. He gets grabbed up and almost dies without it, and now he has it. While this is also a huge pickup now for Alliance, the gem pickup from Bulldog, and so now they don't have to rely so heavily on those sentries to be able to grab up that Weaver.
And it looks like their game plan is a potential maneuver down this bottom lane with, again, moving into the Finem jungle front and really kind of nullifying any sort of farm advantage that Finem will be able to get for themselves. They know this Alchemist is going to try to play catch-up, and so will Madara, and they want to kind of nip it in the bud while they can. But here's Madara, just kind of still creeping and crawling back and behind. They're flirting around this Loda Bristle, but he's quite the raid boss, and it ain't going to be easy.
Yeah, his item build's actually paying off hugely right now. Instead of going for mech or anything like that to help his teammates, he's going for like the greedy carry build because he knows S4 is going to be going for those like pickoffs, like not really like support, but kind of like just like not really a full blown carry, like kind of like a 3 tiny instead of a 2 tiny. So Loda knows he needs to be the right click potential and goes for this build.
We'll see here. Will the Greeks find a way to respond?
They are smoked up.
And Elder Titan is just so nice to have for any sort of potential counter Roche play. This choke point works very nicely for something like an Earth Splitter. Bulldog sidestep is going to be popping the Lincoln. Madara very low. Backing away here, but you're right, he used the lasso and not the force staff on that Lincoln, so it's going to be wasted. EGM gets targeted with the Crow, they try to burst him down, but they can't do enough. EGM's going to be able to tether away, and he's good. Meanwhile, Thug up in arms with S4. First one to hit the deck is going to be the Oracle, and now Alliance begin their invade. Skylark, the gatekeeper of the high ground here, not going to allow him to head up the path, while Madara, Thug, and company make them work with Loda. Loda actually getting the better of it, while back on the other side, it's Skylark who's going to be isolated out on the right-hand front. They are up in arms, back in the mid. We can see it's Alliance who swarm around the Madara Weaver, and they'll finish him off. Meanwhile, up and over, it's Spartan and Skylark desperate to try to get Bulldog, but they're not going to get it. It's S4 who rotates in, will be there for his buddy, and Alliance sweep through another wonderful team fight. And they are going to be on the up and up. Now 18-10, and maybe it will finally be time, round 3, to finish off this Roche.
Vision winning them the fight there. S4 is able to get a nice jump on the Oracle, but again, Finem seems a bit disconnected. They don't seem to be maybe not communicating or not. There's a lack of cohesion between them. The Void jumps on 2 targets on the right side. The Elder Titan doesn't even drop his ultimate right away over, and he actually walked into the Chrono, got flame breaked out, and then walked back into the Chrono. So there's a little bit of a weird interaction there from Spartan that we usually don't see. And yeah, the fight was just super split up for them, and they didn't use their ultimates in synergy properly.
Very chaotic fight, and for Alliance they were able to kind of keep their cool and make it work to their benefit here for a team that has obviously been around the block for quite a while. And I don't know if it was mentioned yet, but S4's follow-up, he has the Shadow Blade and still about 2.2k pocketed up here, so curious to see what he decides to invest in next.
Yeah, not too sure. Loda is going to be going for that Aura, he's going for the AC. So we'll probably see Loda. Okay, well, I was going to say, why does S4 go for Silver Edge, and he does right away, so.
Yeah,
cool.
Straight to Silver Edge, so.
It's not really specific or anything, but it's I mean, it's a good stat item.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it just overall helps you for the Silver Edge. The reduced damage is neat as well.
Alliance kind of begin their sweep here, do some casual dewarding, and begin to scope out the Ancient camp and see if they can possibly find a flank opportunity here for Finem in the top lane. And you can just tell by the way the Greeks are posturing here. They are definitely on a very defensive position, but Alliance are just really kind of starving them out now. It's slowly beginning here, taking more of the jungle. Lasso pull back here. Bulldog able to snag up Spartan, and even a relocate. Pulls in S4 so they can just secure that one. Elder Titan goes down, and Alliance find an opportunity to maybe pushing for a +1 objective in this mid-tier 2.
Yep, they should be able to get it just fine. Madara, however, is going to be able to get a trade at least.
Yep. He gets that tier 1 in the top lane and quickly rotates to the mid here, where possibly Alliance will begin their siege. I mean, you got that Aegis here to work with now. Loda going to be the tanky one in the front lines. No Aegis for him though, so can't overextend too much. S4 though, jump in, toss back for Thug, straight to a stun connection, but that's going to be the Skylark counterplay. Looks to get the good Chrono, it catches 2, but Madara alone is not going to offer enough damage to be able to get any sort of cleanup play. Thug healed up nicely though with help of the False Promise and his typical rage. We'll get it back to full. Meanwhile, Skylark, brief jump away, will avoid the damage of the Death Ward, and now Chaos breaks out. Finem look to isolate Loda. He is going to be a real tough cookie to crack, and he is on pursuit for Madara. Meanwhile, S4 is going to be able to isolate and finish off Skylark. Loda very low. It's just taking too much time, and Thug is still not going to be able to get him. Beautiful force, sends him to the high ground. Wonderful play from Bulldog. Thug saved up in the meantime from from the Fates, or sorry, from the False Promise, from the Fates Edict, actually. Woo! Crazy fight there, and we're not done yet. Bulldog's got a new lasso, pull back onto the maybe next time support, and Alliance will take yet another big fight their way. Bulldog happy about this one, barrel rolling his way into what he feels like will be an easy game one. Buyback is going to be forced out from the Thug Alchemist, but here comes Alliance on the mid lane.
Loda got so low. Like you said, beautiful 4-step from Bulldog, pushing him up onto that high ground. And this is the opportunity that they needed for Alliance. Like, again, just felt like a bit of missed synergy coming out from at Finem during that engagement, during that team fight. And they try to go again. So, oh yeah, something, I can't believe I didn't comment on this during the draft, but time dilation, they picked Bristleback into the Void. So,
oh, you're right.
But, I mean, it's working for them, but still, it's a neat little the way that the Void works for Bristle, obviously with time dilation messing up his spells.
Yeah, and that's something Bristle really kind of relies on, being able to spam out all those to really get the most out of his ulti, but it doesn't seem like the time dilation has been too much of a factor yet. Alliance very headstrong about their Bristle pick and really making it count here as they continue to escalate their advantage. It's about a 7,500 net worth advantage. Really the only one kind of, you know, preventing that from being a serious 10k advantage is maybe this farmed Alchemist, because it's an Alchemist after all. But Alliance, sure enough, very far ahead, and they're looking to close this one out sooner than later. They already got the tier 3 down the mid lane. With Raxus exposed, they're looking to do some serious base sieging here. And, well, Skylark's Chrono is back up. There goes the Earth Splitter, but there's going to be a stag on Spartan. They're going to pull him right back up, and they're going to try to burst down the Elder Titan, getting rid of that natural order from the fight before it can even begin. There's the Chrono now, catches out Akan S4, but with a Crimson Guard pop, he's just tickling him, so can't do much about it. Skylark feeling pretty useless at this point, and Alliance say, nah, no bother, we'll just go for the Rax because, well, that's what's important. And it looks like they are going to be able to clean out this mid lane, and potentially looks like Alliance could be walking away with this game 1 victory if this keeps up.
So this has actually happened like 2 or 3 times now. The Spartan gets like a good 2 or 3 man stomp, and then he gets ready and he sets up his ultimate, and either Acid Spray or the Swarm actually ends up waking up Alliance. I've seen it happen in like 2 or 3 different fights now, and he doesn't end up blending the Earth Splitter on anyone. But again, the cohesion, the synergy is just not there for Adfin right now. Every single time you see this Chrono come out and there's no follow-up. The Earth Splitter is not there. Even the Astral Spirit for the natural order during the Chrono is not on top of the Chronosphere. So there seems to just be some miscommunication coming out from the side of Adfin.
Yeah, I wonder, like, that's something you don't even really think about. I don't know if it was something they didn't think about at all. Just like you mentioned, the way that the Swarm could even wake up the Stomp and any sort of potential setup play. Yeah. Very anti-synergetic in that kind of front, but they do get another toss back here for Thug. Early False Promise just to make sure he stays alive. His Chemical Rage will be able to kind of add to the double regen, so it could be all good. Alliance kind of repositioned, step back a bit. At Finem, don't want to overcommit right here. A lost fight could just easily mean the game if this goes very bad for the Radiant. And Alliance know that if they can win this fight, it's going to be game for them. So it looks like they found an opportunity possibly to truck on forward, but no kills yet. Alliance continue their approach. Obviously no Aegis on hand for them now, but feeling pretty confident with their huge farm advantage that they could try to close this one out. At Finem just waiting patiently to hope for an opening. Madara trying to creep in from the north, run to S4, person with the stun.
Earth Splitter just
there and then for nothing.
Whips them out. Whips completely.
Okay, now Madara force pops the link in, so Bulldog will get the lasso play, pulls them back. Decent Skylark Chrono. They are going to be able to take down both supports, but the cores are still alive and well. Well, for the meantime, as they are split up, Bulldog's going to have to head south away from this fight, and Thug just determined to run down Loda. Here comes the concoction play. Loda, creeping with the Ancient Camp right now, is forced into a corner, and it looks like Adfin will finally be able to take a fight in their direction. It's been a long while before they're able to be in the positive. But it looks like with that, they get a pretty good chunk of net worth here, Fog. So look at that, 1256 for your Alk, and even Skylark gets a good chunk of change from that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of money gained. Even though they kind of like use their ult in a weird manner, the Chrono ended up being greedy. Skylark getting comboed by
bada bing, bada boom. Just as fast as you're able to get into the positive after that fight, S4 brings him back down once more. But as S4 baits in Madara a bit, that's the gem, so they're going to toss him up. Madara's going to be forced back. It's a good fight for Adfin, but they're going to need a couple of more of those to really stay alive in this game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But they really need to start landing their combos properly, and landing the Earth Splitter in general. Like again, it hit 0 heroes. I think it's maybe clipped like, I think he's casted like 7. I want to say maybe even more than that. He's maybe hit a total of like 3 or 4 heroes with all of those. So it's just, and he has the setup for it. But like we've been mentioning, the acid spray and the swarm, waking up people from the stomp. He's really just messing with it, and he's not. I guess he didn't really expect it, and now he should know. You know, it's happened multiple times. He should just identify that and adapt.
Yeah, we could see Alliance now decide to kind of slow things down a little bit. Maybe wait out for the next Roche, get the new Aegis here before they make their next high ground assault. But I mean, what do you think, Fog? With time, maybe for the Greeks here at Finem, if they can continue to farm up, how is their scaling potential into the late game if they can somehow manage to just stall?
Well, they have a Tricore, so it's pretty damn good, but they're just very underfarmed at this point. The one nice thing is that there's 3 heroes that actually every single one of them can get an Aghanims. Sparkles is probably the least overwhelming because it only drops Purify in 1 second, and you don't.
Great in overthrow, but I don't know about a real game here. Just mass regen.
The nice thing, like I'm mentioning, he can give Aghanims to everybody, and Alchemist with a Weaver. We talked about it. We've never actually gotten to see it in a pro game, but time lapse with Alchemist, if you're able to use it on him with your Aghanim Scepter, it's extremely broken. There's like no other way to really describe it.
Wow, you're absolutely right.
I really hope that we get to see it at one point in this game.
Do you think it's good enough that he deserves first rights for the first Ags, or do you think you give it instead to like the Faceless Void for the reduced?
You probably want to give it to the Void.
Yeah.
Unless he's just super like
confident,
crippled, and Madara is like really farmed. Like, if he gets his Desolator and he gets one more item, then maybe they'll prioritize on him in the next couple minutes.
Gar is able to creep in his level 16, so now he has the shorter cooldown to work with on the time lapse here. But I'm sure Alliance are also all of that we just mentioned. So
do you have sound levels there for me on your thing? Because
sound level?
Are saying I'm actually a little bit quiet.
Saying you're quiet?
Yeah, a little bit.
I can turn you up over here.
Turn me up a little bit.
There you go. That. I upped them up a bit. Hope everything's fine now, folks. As mentioned, it was a bit of an awkward start for us today. The computer was not responding too well, and we've had to make some desperate adjustments. But hopefully things are better. Now boosted up my buddy.
Now I'm probably booming.
Yeah.
That's okay,
just scream in their ear.
Yeah, I just kept seeing. I looked at and glanced and I saw it happen. Like,
stop looking at chat.
Oh, stop.
I appreciate it though.
It's helpful.
I'm scared to look because they're probably like, "What the hell's happening with this camera and overlay there?" I'm like, I'll avoid it altogether. So I'm glad you're there to catch the little technical thing. So Alliance did wait out for the Roche. They will take it down, and then I imagine they are looking to close this game out. Do not want to risk taking this game too long against the Tricore of Finem, and
they do have a lead though. They have like quite a substantial lead, so taking it into the late game may not be like horrible for them, but it's not what they want to be really doing with their lineup. It doesn't benefit them completely, but with the lead that they have, they can venture into it, not in too much danger. Especially because S4 is now starting to transition into a carry.
But if this fight doesn't go so well for him, and then another one, then things are going to get pretty delicate for Alliance. So they got to make this one count. Things aren't going to be as easy breezy as they were up to this point. And Finem are they're preparing, probably game planning, all possible scenarios here. We've been questioning their team synergy for this game as far as being able to synergize all their ultis and their combos. So let's see if they're going to be able to kind of polish things off for this next fight where it really counts. Here comes Alliance now. Can they close this out? Can they get the game 1 victory and have that early advantage in this best of 3? A very important series. Winner of this has secured their trip to Seattle to compete with some of the best in the world for some of the biggest money you can get on the planet. So here's Alliance now. Waiting on the outskirts. Slowly they just spaz down these waves to prevent any sort of early sieging power. They're going to be able to spot out S4. They try to nuke him down a little bit, but he's still too far out there to really commit onto. A lot of touch and go here.
Acid Spray and Elder Titan and the Swarm. Super hard to push into, super hard to break high ground into once they get their levels up, and they all have the appropriate levels now.
Yeah. And you do have a Battle Rider. Might be tricky though for Bulldog to be able to get there and find the appropriate target to kidnap and pull out and allow us to get that number advantage.
Oh, they actually get the stop on the Wisp.
Yeah, he's low.
Chrono's on top.
Whoa, Earth Splitter, they're going to be able to take out EGM, might be forced to fight back. He will, but S4 already goes down. He does have the Aegis and will be able to fight back for another day. But Loda makes his move, BKB going to be popped, and now they make the relocate really back in. EGM joined side by S4 as Madara retreats up north, backing away, but Alliance not really able to get inside the base and do anything with it, and they're the ones that lose the most in this fight. So, ooh, swing and a miss here for Alliance in round number 1.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Spartan actually gets level 2 Astral Spirit instead of his level 2 ultimate, and I feel like that actually is a bit of a mistake because the ultimate scales quite well with the damage now. But I guess he felt like he needed to spam out the waves more with that Astral Spirit Stomp combo. So
Yeah.
I can understand that, but team fight goes very well for them. Like you said, they only lose like, I don't know, 800 HP total or maybe a little bit less than that. On the tower, they get their first real combo of the game that we've seen. 3-man Earth Splitter, the Chronos on top. They clean up the Aegis instantly and they net themselves 1 kill other than that.
Alliance and probably their fans now maybe getting a little nervous. You know, you're hoping based on your peaks and your timings that Alliance would be, you know, starting to close this one out, but at Finem's high ground defense and their late game potential are starting to shine through a little bit.
Yeah, look at the enemy jungle too, or at Finem's jungle is just completely warded up by Alliance. So you
Yeah.
can tell Alliance felt very confident on the aggressive in this game, and we did see that fresh BKB used by Loda in that last engagement, and now we do see Alliance getting a little bit sick and tired, as you were mentioning, of trying to go for that high ground. It seems like they want to go for that tier 2 top.
Yeah, just get what's out there. It's free money on the map for them, and I don't suspect at Finem doing really too much to defend that tier 2. It would just be probably too high risk of a play here, but again, these Greek boys, you really never know what the hell they might actually decide to do here. Madara pretty deep.
Relocate.
Oh man, relocate. They caught the linkage, but can't quite get close enough. Oh! Time-lapse back! He is duking away from the trouble right now and avoiding Alliance, but eventually they might be able to catch up. Maldic will be able to catch, and Loda begins to stick out with the goo. Earth Splitter, oh, a swing and a miss. Will force Alliance to disengage a bit. And S4 inside and will be able to burst down the Elder Titan. He does not have a buyback and will be out of the game for 40 seconds.
Oh man, I don't know if maybe that was a miss micro or something. He's so far up and out of position. Alliance getting that chance though, gets the kill on him.
Yep.
And 30 seconds still to take that.
They obviously really wanted to get that Madara Weaver. He was very slippery though. Will allow Alliance to finally finish off that last remaining outer tower.
Bulldog on the prowl, Lothar up on the side, or Shadow Bladed up on the side.
Can he find someone to kidnap here? Skylark would be a wonderful grab, but he quickly leaps away. And Bulldog will not be able to sink onto his target. But here we go, Concoction. Not going to be able to find a target, so he'll have to eat that one. And Alliance are not feeling too comfortable. They opt to pull away from this top lane and will look to find some help elsewhere, but they can't keep stalling out too long.
Yep. S4 is about to pick up his butterfly, so he's actually transitioning very well. He's caught up with Loda. So all these kills really benefiting him a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, that Silver Edge massively paying off. Great investment by him.
It is still going to be, nonetheless, you know, I'm trying to build up a lot of hope for possibly a comeback here from Ad Finem, but the thing is this is Alliance. I mean, if there's an opportunity where Ad Finem begin to push past the river, I mean, they still have, for God's sakes, a tier 1 on the bottom lane and the mid lane to have to work through. There is a lot of that famous Alliance backdoor potential in this game. It is still a very steep hill to climb for Ad Finem in a comeback.
Yeah, they still have a lot of economy that they can gain off of the map.
Yeah.
Just like you were mentioning, off of those towers. But also you mentioned they haven't been able to cross the river like at all this game.
Like the last 20 minutes easily, they have not crossed the river.
Really keeping the pressure on them and just trying to starve them out.
Yep. I mean, had Alliance not been able to get down these nice wards and maintain like this sharks in water mentality around the, you know, the Ad Finem baseline, they would have been able to reach out and really escalate their farm. But, you know, for the meantime, the Radiant have just had breadcrumbs of farm, and Alliance, as mentioned, just continue to starve out. And eventually, Bulldog will be able to maybe find that lasso target, get that one person down, and Ad Finem will be stuck in a bit of a rut for their final high ground defense. So, might have to come down to any sort of cheeky play here by them to be able to really 180 this game momentum.
Yep. Thug picking up his AC quite soon for the Alchemist. I actually thought we'd be seeing that Shiva's build that people have been doing. I really like it. It also helps a lot with their lineup. But he feels like he needs to be more of an actual damage dealer, so I can understand that.
Yeah, you get to pair that together, of course, with the Weaver and his Deso and the minus armor is something you really need to kind of shred through someone like Lona here, for example, who's sporting your Crimson, who's sporting your AC. So they need to find a way to be able to penetrate this fortitude of Bristleback and the rest of Alliance. So, and you know, if they are in a position where, let's say, they win a big team fight and the Alliance are not able to defend, they could just easily mop up these tier 1 and tier 2 towers like in a blink of an eye.
Yep. AC now picked up for Thug. We have the Diffusal Blade as well on the Void, and it looks like they're actually ready to go. They're trying to make the aggressive play.
Oh my god, Alliance are actually heading towards the top lane, while Skylark, no, not going to be able to get the connection, but it actually will be on EGM. I missaw that. EGM does go down. This could be a wonderful start for Finem, and they quickly clean up the following support here.
Racks, though.
But yeah, Alliance inside the base, S4 whopping down these racks. Finem persisted though on getting the flank play, but it looks like they are able to snag up the Skylark Faceless Void. Thug makes his move in, but it looks like he'll be the one stunned up. Madara going to be going down. He does have a buyback, might need to use it here to help his buddy in crime, Thug. Thug is going to get hit up with a false promise as he tries to chemical rage his way back into this. Will heal up promptly, and Alliance do decide to double back. They already got what they needed from this lane,
go
but
for the trade.
they are not going to get it. Look at him. He is running. He's going for the Megas here. If Alliance can stall out this fight in the top lane, they will get exactly what they need. And there he is, S4 in the base. Will force out the buyback. Oracle, I don't think you could do it alone. Meanwhile, Thug is able to get the finish, takes down Loda. S4 will be forced to withdraw, but he gets the 1 Rax, and now it's just 1 more to Megas.
That DD Tiny, it looks so silly. He 3-shot top racks, and then he almost 3-shot the range racks, and it's looking now very grim for Finem. There's only 2 little Raxes up, and they are range Raxes, so Lions can just poke at those, and if they get Megas, that's where it's going to become nearly impossible for Finem to catch back up. They use Madara's buyback as well, so his net worth has completely plummeted, and his item progression has stopped.
Desperation mode though. Finem charged themselves down this mid lane, but we could just as fast see EGM S4 backdoor play here if they really wanted to.
Yep, they're doing it.
There it is.
They have
Hey,
the shard on Tiny too, so he's going to try to break through that back door, and he should just be able to.
Yep. That's
Okay.
1. And that leaves only a 70 life range Rax here at the top lane.
They're
But
just YOLO pushing.
yeah, Finem are like, they didn't move at all. The body language says, we're going for the jugular here. The only chance we have to win is to make a fight happen here and make the game win.
They
But
got S4 in the chrono. There's no relocate to bail him out.
oh my goodness, can they take him down in time? He will have enough money, it looks like, for possibly a buyback, and he will. 90 seconds, he'll be put in the sidelines otherwise, but here they come. Finem here. Full desperation mode for them. Can they make it happen here? Into the high ground they go, and Alchemist begins to chunk down this tier 3. Their base in the meantime still safe, but can they do enough to kind of just breach and get in to the Alliance fort? S4 now going to be forced to buy back here. Bulldog makes his move. BK beat up, grabs a hold of Thug, tries to pull back. Oh, it actually looks to go for Skylark, but he gets the false promise, and he will be saved. Thug in the meantime looks to go for Loda. Loda, his eyes are on the prize. He's going to get Oracle and finish him off here. And Alliance are going to be able to keep him backing away. And as you mentioned, that last Rax did go down. It's Megas at Finem. If they don't get this fight, they don't get this game. Alliance, though, it looks like they are going to be able to do it. They make their move for Madara, and, well, Madara, it looks like he'll be able to creep his way out from the trouble. Thug makes his move for Ake. Ooh, Ake gets the Ghost Scepter off. Will live, but not so lucky there for Bulldog. But it's not looking so good. In the end, buybacks begin to come out from Alliance. They know that the game is theirs. If they can just simply take this fight, and it looks like they may, they make their move for Madara. He's out of the game for 90 seconds without a buyback. Thug, their other last hope of a core, about to fall, and it looks like he will be dropped. 100 seconds, does have a buyback, uses it immediately to help keep the pressure out of their base, but I think that might have been it, Fog. That was
the damage is done.
the final hurrah for Finem. Alliance will get the Roshi to make things easier for their final push.
I love that though. They recognize there's no way, there's nothing we can do. Our Raxes are going to die. The relocate is going to come out, and there's nothing we can do. We have to just try to go for that straight up aggressive push. It doesn't go like, it goes probably the best it could have for them. They couldn't expect to really win that entire thing just from that one engagement. And yeah, like the game is, it's pretty much over now. Madara dying again, losing a lot of net worth over and over again, and Alliance just pulling ahead slowly but surely.
Here they come.
Or closing the game slowly but surely.
Madara, still 35 seconds if he had hopes of joining in for this final fight, but It doesn't look like he will be able to. And now, Alliance can just bully back at Finem towards their fountain and try to go for the tier 4s. Not if Thug has anything to say about it. Spartan, unfortunately, though, will be caught out by Loda and his Abyssal. Gets locked down. False Promise will be able to keep him alive inside the fountain so he can fight on for another day. Thug not able to save one of his tier 4s. Makes his move for S4, but now gets caught between 4 here. He's just trying to isolate EGM, but he's not going to get that. Bulldog gets a lasso, but then Skylark jumps in, gets a nice 3-man chrono here. Loda, though, makes his move for Thug right on the backhand side, and that's going to be the end of him. But just as he falls, Madara comes up, but that will be game. A hard, resilient fight from the Greeks, but Alliance, they do it, and they will take game number 1.
Yep. I got 4 incorrect predictions.
I got 1.
Nice.
I got 1. But nonetheless, stellar performance from Alliance here in game number 1. You know, you recognize with the Ad Finem lineup, a bit on the greedy side, requires a serious amount of build-up, a lot of pressure on them to be able to succeed in that laning stage where Alliance were really able to kind of, you know, be the successors. We saw Bulldog get that kill in the top lane. He got a